You have just stepped into the Midlife Revolution, your space to ignite possibility, redefine purpose, and embrace the power that comes with age. Co-hosted by yours truly, Coach Wayne.
And I'm Coach Stacy M. Lewis, and we're two seasoned coaches focused on the midlife community of color. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. In a world that sometimes forgets the power and the wisdom that comes with age, we're here to ignite a revolution and rewrite the narrative of this incredible journey.
So, whether you're navigating career shifts, rediscovering passions, or challenging the status quo, this is your space. So buckle up. Let's dive into the Midlife Revolution. Good morning, and it's happy 9th of July, and we are a little bit behind, and we apologize. We had an acting out in terms of technology. You know, technology wanted to show itself up, so we had to kind of work through that wonky donkey. But here we are, Stacy.
Here we are.
This is a special show today, and welcome to Midlife Revolution, everybody. I am Coach Wayne, your VIP coach that works with men of color, taking them through the so-called dangerous waters of midlife, getting them on the other end safely so that they can enjoy their second half, making it their best half. And Stacy, why don't you introduce yourself? Stacy M. Lewis, coach.
So it is definitely my technology that has been wonking out today, and it is such a pleasure to be here. Good morning to Curtis. Thank you for your ongoing support. Yes, we are excited. We are excited because today is our 20th episode, and we are excited to, believe it or not, talk about fear, something that we often face, but we don't deal with it. So I'm Stacy M. Lewis. I am a nonprofit executive. I'm also a midlife women's coach. I'm excited to be here. And before we jump into the topic today, let's see if said technology will give us just a moment. We just need just a moment to celebrate. Are you ready to celebrate, Wayne? Because I'm ready to celebrate.
I am ready to celebrate. Does that mean
you ready to celebrate? Here we go. We're going to celebrate. Happy 20th episode.
I thought we were going to have some reggae beats today. Stacy.
Sorry, sir. You know, the DJ, the DJ. That's what we'll just say. We'll just say the DJ. DJ.
It's all good. It's all good. How was your fourth, Stacy?
The fourth, wow, that seems like it was so long ago already, Wayne. I will say that I was able to relax and restore, and it's actually the whole theme of the fourth. And Wayne, you and I talked about Juneteenth and the idea of freedom, and really talking about fear is one of the things we want to be free from. So I spent some time really thinking about what's holding me back in some of the areas where I'd like to flourish, and also a little bit of time relaxing. How was your holiday?
Well, I didn't have the usual fireworks because I was not in the USA, but I took a trip to Panama.
Oh,
and what a group. My wife's family, 47 of us, boarded planes from all over the States and from a couple of the islands, and we went to Panama. My wife's great-grandfather, I think it was one of the brave men who worked on the Panama Canal. Thousands of lives were lost there.
Thousands,
and so his name is inscribed on a plaque in the museum. And we still have family there. And so we went and visited some aunts and cousins. And so altogether, maybe about 60 strong we're pushing,
Mm.
celebrating the Heinz family. So congrats to the Heinz family who
Congrats to the
celebrated.
Heinz family. That is phenomenal. And I mean, what a way to celebrate not only freedom, but really the price that has been paid by so many for us to enjoy the things that we are enjoying today. And again, to acknowledge, yes, thank you, Curtis. I'm telling you, he is like cheering us on this 20th episode. We're sorry that we didn't have explosions. We figured we would save that for the 50th episode. But you know, who knows? Maybe at 30 we'll move up to explosives. So I think that it's so phenomenal that you were able to really go as a group, as a tribe, as a community, and as a family, and really connect with culture. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
You know, I want to share. There are a lot of people who are thinking about options, especially as we get around to this next general elections, having seen what's on the ticket for the next election with the last display of the debate. But nonetheless, other people are thinking about, you know, moving out of this country or having some sort of interest elsewhere. And people are looking at places like Ghana, Portugal, um, Costa Rica. There are several places I've heard about where folks are moving to. And I got to say, you should add Panama to the list.
Mm.
First of all, very strong economy. The dollar, the US dollar it's 1-for-1 in exchange. They don't have an army, and there's lots of politics there, of course. Let me just start by saying it's right next door to Colombia, so there is a concern about movement of certain things. But um, the definition of freedom and the definition of success and the definition of comfort really changes when you leave the United States and you
Mm.
see how other
Mm.
people enjoy and have a different set of so-called values and liberties. And you know, it's so important. So I would encourage people. We saw the Panama Canal, which is one of the new wonders of the world. It's kind of, let me just explain what that is. So you have Central America with a straight, you know, and so connecting North and South America and the Atlantic and the Pacific. And so typically back in the day, you would have to travel an extra 3 days by ship to get around, you know, to the other side of the world, so to speak. And the genius of folks years ago, not just yesterday, but centuries ago, to develop a canal right through Central America, cut off those 3.5 days. Plus,
Mhm.
there's a Drake's Corner, I think it's called, an area on the tip of South America where three oceans meet, and it's turbulent water. So there are shipwrecks all over the place right there. And as a result, the Panama Canal is a wonder where there are these great lakes that come through Panama in the rainforest, and they feed a channel where over 170 countries apparently use this channel to get their goods across, right? I
Mhm.
understand they make about, you know, on an average, 10 to $15 million a day, the Panama government, for people trafficking through here. And what it is, it's like a water elevator. If you can imagine great tons and tons of weight in terms of a ship being elevated through the filling of these catchment by water, leveling up and leveling down, depending on which side you're going, which side of the ocean, to allow ships to move freely across to the canal, because there are mountain ridges that are underneath these oceans that if this is not done, ships can't get through. You have to see it to believe it and to even
It's
understand it.
it's fantastic. I mean, I will say I have not been there yet. I'll give that a yet. Yet my dad, who passed away at the age of 90, was an architect, and so that was very early on his cruise agenda when he was alive because of the architectural feat that the Panama Canal is. And so I appreciate right now just the level of enthusiasm that you have and fascination with that experience. And I also want to say that Sister Audrey did send a little correction. She said it was her grandfather.
Grandfather. Okay.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
even closer
yes.
to home.
Yes. So, we're to our listening and viewing audience, we're having some StreamYard issues. And so all of our comments aren't showing up and we can't respond to our comments. So, good times, but we are here. We appreciate you and we are cheering you on.
But
So, Wayne,
yes,
tell us a story about you and fear. You have your choice of stories.
yes,
You
yes.
can
Hey,
you can
yes.
tell an old story or a new story. What you want to go with?
Yes, Orlando, thanks for joining us and welcome. Let me just say, Stacy, let's remind folks that we have gifts for them in celebration
Yes.
of today.
Yes.
Uh, on my side, I have an ebook that I'll be offering to folks. All you have to do is DM me saying free ebook, and I'll get that out to you. I'll give you the link to put in for the ebook, and this is only running until till Friday through this particular platform. And Stacy, what are you giving away to our guests celebrating with us our 20th?
So both Wayne and I are also offering complimentary coaching calls, so you can DM either one of us for that. I am also offering for anyone that is interested, and it is called my Purpose Unveiled. It is 8 intentional steps to identifying, reconnecting with your purpose. So it is my Purpose Unveiled workbook, which is available for those that are interested. And I welcome any DMs. We appreciate you. Wayne, how long will we offer these complimentary gifts to our listening and viewing
Let's
audience?
just run it until Friday, and on the
Okay.
weekend we'll call it a day. My
Okay.
book is called Breaking Free: Discovering Your Purpose, Power, and Prosperity in Midlife, and just
Mm.
taking folks through, the things that we can incorporate in our lives to make sure that we break free. And we're going to talk about that today, free from fear, so that we can have a sense of freedom, all in commemoration of July 4th, when we're talking about freedom and what does it mean, and how midlife, typically a lot of folks start counting down, saying what we cannot do, and how we are paralyzed by fear because of, we're getting older, we think we don't have the wherewithal, we don't think we're worthy enough, and all these things. Today we're going to talk a little bit about that. And Stacy, I should I go ahead and post the module that we're showing?
You are welcome to do so. I think one of the questions that comes to my mind. I think it's interesting that both you and I, and we did not coordinate this. One of the interesting pieces is that both of our free offerings focus on or talk about purpose. And your purpose is not something that is out there, kind of, that you have to go get. The purpose is already within you. And oftentimes it is our fears or that uncertainty that holds us back from really fulfilling or moving into a deeper level of our purpose. And so, one of the questions I thought of for our audience to really think about is: have we become so seasoned or so skilled that we no longer want to do things afraid? And to really deepen that question, I think about I've worked a long time to get to where I am as a nonprofit executive. And, I'm sure that I did many things that I was not familiar with. And I was had a different level of willingness to try new things, to do things with uncertainty. And as I then gotten older and moved into entrepreneurship, I could recognize that I was allowing fear or that uncertainty, right? Based on the fact that I'm so professional, right? I have it so together in this one area that I then hindered myself from moving forward with my own fears in my entrepreneurship, based on being this seasoned, skilled professional. So I don't know if that made a lot of sense to anybody, but for me, I definitely recognize the sense of fear in, like, if I do this, will people like it? If I do this, will people think that I'm not knowledgeable? If I do it this way, will people feel like, what was that? So just the fear sometime of what others will think or what I'm experiencing, really started to hold me back. And I think that this conversation about fear and connecting it to the resources that we're offering, is really meaningful to me. So I'm so glad that we're here and doing it.
Yeah. Stacy, I experience fear every single day as an entrepreneur. When I fight corporate America three years ago now, a little bit more perhaps, um, I was making a good income. I had great benefits. There was a sense of security, and I wanted something else for myself. And like you said, I knew it wasn't my purpose. I knew what I was doing was somebody else's idea and building on somebody else's dream. And what I wanted to do was find my own way. And I'll tell you, having a cheering partner in your circle. I'm sorry, I'm turning down some alerts here on my phone. Just getting back from vacation. I'm not all together with the program yet. And I'll tell you that having my cheering partner, my amazing, wonderful, beloved wife, Audrey, and her family and my family and just some close friends cheer me on, even though it was murky and uncertain, and just supporting me throughout. And every single day, when you worry about ending a contract or winning another, there's this fear of uncertainty. And so, looking at what we decided to use today, Grace LeConte's model of what happens to us in the process of fear. How do we engage it or disengage it? We have a choice to make. It's all about a decision. So, folks, you're going to come upon some issues that fear is going to stare you in the face and tell you reasons. It's going to rationalize why you cannot do things, why it's impossible, why it's not for you, why you're not good enough, tall enough, old enough, black enough, white enough, educated enough. And so you stop and you deliberate between engaging with that mindset, those voices, or Stacy, you disengage. And so we have the four responses to fear. And Stacey, you want to
Yeah,
talk about what those might be?
I think this is such a great graphic, as Curtis said, really to just outline kind of how we respond to fear. And I know that the little sign behind me might be hard for our viewers to read, but it says that every blessed thing that you are desiring, that you are waiting for, is on the other side of fear. And so often it is our fears that are holding us back, whether they be, big or little. Sometimes the fear just to take the next step can be holding us back. And so the responses, as you can see, are either we're going to fight. Do you want to talk about fight first? Ooh, because Who doesn't like a good fight talk on a Tuesday morning?
Yeah. So fighting is really us just getting engaged, but fighting can be stressful. Obviously, it's not smooth and easy. It's going against the grain and going on the attack. And oftentimes, when we fight in fear, it shows up as anger. So we
Yeah.
don't necessarily want to always have to fight the thing, but that's one of the approaches people take. And let me just talk about, for example, on this trip that I went.
Hmm.
Those who know me closely know, and I'll admit, I'm a big 6'3" guy, over 200 pounds, right? In pretty good condition and all that good stuff. But I have a fear, a morbid fear of deep water. And so I can shower, but if it's the kind of stuff that will
That's not deep
submerge,
water. You can
yeah, I feel it.
shower, but it can't be is the okay.
Yeah. So initially, last month, my wife wanted me to go with family again to a cruise. And Stacey, we talked about this. I was kicking and hemming and hawing about going to this cruise, but I wanted to make sure that my wife had the opportunity to really enjoy herself because she works so hard. We both do. And I thought, let me stop kick and fight and go. I was getting a little bit annoyed at the fact that she invited us to this cruise through saying yes. I wanted to make sure that my wife had the opportunity
I
to
don't know what
really
just
enjoy.
happened.
I thought, why are we hearing the feedback, Stacey? Fight and go. I was getting a
I
little bit
don't know. My
annoyed
phone is
at
bugging
the fact
out.
that she invited us to.
I think you passed it on. Our phone was just, your
Okay, there it
phone
is.
went first and then my phone went second. Sorry about that.
It's gone. And rather than kicking and fighting, I decided to go with the program. So I reduced any sense of, I don't know that I was at this level of anger, but I was just annoyed that Audrey had said, let's go, knowing that I'm morbidly afraid of the ships and the boats and all that stuff. And I had a wonderful time going to the Bahamas last month, Stacy. I, I
Woohoo!
faced it. I faced it. My daughter Dia is laughing at me. I faced it. And that's one of the things that we're encouraging people to do in terms of fear, right? To stop kicking and fighting and go with the flow, face it. So connect with it, engage with it. Um, on the other side of fear is where you get the breakthrough, folks. If you don't do it, you'll never know what's possible.
That is so the truth. And hi, Dia. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is so such an innate response, though, to fight. Right? We're either going to fight or we're going to run. We're going to fight or we're going to allow flight to kick in. And when we fight, I think about some of the outcomes that are identified here as insult, blame, mistreat. That's really what we do, not only to those on the outside, but also to ourselves. When we allow fear and we start to have this internal fight, we start to insult ourselves. We start to blame and mistreat ourselves, really, with that negative narrative that I'm sure, Wayne, many of the clients that you connect with, just as the ones I do, are really dealing with that negative narrative, the story, that story that is not necessarily true, but that is not a nurturing story to ourselves. And so, really being mindful of when we are in that fight response to our own fear or uncertainty, I think is critical to us being able to, call it a thing and begin to deal with it and move forward in a way that's productive.
Call it a thing. So we have 5 minutes, and I know I spent the first
We
10 or
have
so.
5 minutes. What
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, I spent the first 10 or so wasting time about my wonderful trip to Panama, but it was such a great trip I had to share because other people I'm hoping can jump on it. So the next two parts of fear, how we deal with it is to disengage, and we can disengage by
Mm,
flight or by freezing. What's flight? Flight is to run away and never experience what's possible. Flight is to be in denial, to hide. flight is really being wimpy. At the end of the day, flight is saying, yeah, you don't have the faith to go through and to give it a shot. You'll never know what's on the other side if you keep running. And of
Yeah.
course, some people. Let's talk about freeze, Stacy. I'll give you the chance to wrap up. Well, let's talk
Yeah,
about
I
freeze.
think, we started a minute late, so we'll give ourselves a minute
Okay.
grace as well.
Okay.
Um, when you talked about flight, I think that outcome of sabotage is something for us to really think about, in particular in this midlife season. How often are we presented with opportunities or thinking about doing something new, something different, something outside of the comfort zone? And because of our fear, we end up sabotaging the opportunity. I think that's when we really want to begin to talk to ourselves and saying, and say, wait, what role did I play and what was the driving factor, right? So how did I dismantle or sabotage this opportunity and what was the driving factor behind that? And then I think, freeze. Wayne tells a great story about the freeze. But I think that idea of, oftentimes we can shut down and not even acknowledge that the fear is playing a role, but that recognizing that, we're almost paralyzed by the idea of doing the thing, whatever the thing is, or of experiencing the thing, the success experience. Some of us are afraid of success. We don't want to look at it that way, but oftentimes, we know that if we do X, Y, and Z, it's going to open a new door. And it is that uncertainty that can be paralyzing. And so the way the emotion is to shut down when we are faced with fear. I think the way LeConte expressed it here is really meaningful and extremely clear.
Yeah. Stacy, one thing that I tell clients, which is so real, when you are consistently avoiding issues, it shows up in procrastination.
Mm,
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Tardiness also oftentimes is also about fear of whatever it is that you're dealing with that you haven't quite addressed.
hmm
When these things are happening, um, we have to get beyond the superficial rationalization and figure out what is it that we're fearful of. What's stopping us from getting to the next level? So that's the challenge that we have to face. And the truth of the matter is, when you're a midlifer, you've gotten enough years behind you to stop playing the game. Stop wasting time. Half of your time frame to move forward with possibilities, with breakthroughs, is left. And so let's look at what's in front of us and not keep looking behind us. You can't move forward if you're looking behind. You have to look ahead. And to do that, you have to give yourself permission to break through. Stacy, I had an interview some time ago, and it was a pretty important interview. And one of the guys on the panel was my friend, and he said to me, "Hey, Wayne, I'll be there. If you have any problems, just text me, and I'll be there." But it's supposed to, it was a phone interview. Wound up that it was a Zoom interview, so I was visible. So I had my notes, but now I couldn't really cheat. So I had to look straight in the camera. I couldn't be looking at my notes that the guy had given me, my buddy. And they caught me in the first three questions with stuff that I had no clue for. I wasn't prepared for it. And Stacy, the fear got me. So I thought, how can I get through this? Guess what I did? This is what I did. I froze purposely. And I heard them saying, hey, is he hearing us? Did he lose contact? Must be his Wi-Fi. What's going on? What's going on? My wife was cracking up. She was in the back. She was saying, what if our daughter walked by to the kitchen and they saw her? I froze. And so they disconnected and we finished up with a phone call and I was able to get through and got the position as a result. So just sharing with you that anything that you got to do to break through. If you even got to use freeze as a means of getting beyond the fear, make it happen.
Yeah,
Stacy.
that's the literal freeze. I don't
Yeah.
really know if LeConte in that graphic meant the literal freeze, but clearly it worked for you in that instance. And one thing about being in this season, in this midlife season, is that many of us think fast on our feet. And so if you feel that the physical freeze, the literal freeze is the way to go, well, do what you got to do so you can press past the fear and really make the opportunity one that you can seize. Wayne, what are the gifts that you are giving to our listening audience today, and how can they receive those gifts?
Absolutely. Again, I'm giving away a ebook that guides you through the idea of breaking free, discover your purpose, power, and prosperity through midlife. And it says midlife, but wherever you are in terms of your journey, these wisdom tidbits are applicable. So I'm giving that away. And along with that is a free call with me to see if coaching works for you. At least you'll walk away with at least an idea of what coaching can do for you.
Yeah, I love a good complimentary call because I imagine, Wayne, that you, like myself, I aim to deliver even in the complimentary calls, really to add value and to help you move forward, whether we move forward in a coaching relationship or not. So you can DM Wayne, you can DM myself. I'm giving away Purpose Unveiled, 8 easy steps to work through to identifying, reconnecting, and engaging in your purpose. And you are welcome to reach out to us at any time. Wayne, I want to say to you on this 20th episode that this midlife revolution has indeed been a gift to me, as has your partnership. Happy 20th episode.
Happy 20th, Stacy. And we hope to be with you and our listening audience again as we get to the 40th and the 50th. And we want to continue to be a blessing to you all. So thank you for sharing this moment with us. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We have until Friday to get these free gifts. So make it happen. Thanks for being here. We'll do it again next week, same time, same place.
Be the verb.
And there you have it, folks. This week's episode of the Midlife Revolution. Hey, we truly appreciate you spending this time in this space with us. Join us next week at the same time as we dive into relevant topics and present solutions to spark new thinking and empower your midlife journey.
Don't forget, if today's episode resonated with you, share your thoughts and suggest topics in the comments. And of course, remember to subscribe, share, like, and hit that notification bell. You are the Midlife Revolution. I'm Coach Stacy, and I'm cheering you on.
And I'm Coach Wayne, and I'll see you at the top.